So I have to say, what a year. Have you ever seen anything like 2022 before?
Good morning, Esther. No, I haven't, but it must be said that I haven't had a moment's rest since the referendum in 2016. Politics has been completely crazy since then. And the last time I thought things were calming down and returning to normal was in January 2020, when we thought that the Brexit impasse had been resolved. And that politics will go back to being boring. And, of course, everything else has happened since.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, John, I'm looking for your predictions for 2023. And then I was just thinking back and thought, well, who on earth could have predicted what would have happened in 2022? So I was starting to think whether or not predictions are worth the paper they're written on. But, you know, as a starter...
Or the words that are spoken.
Well, indeed, but... As a starter for 10, Nadine Dorries recently said that she thought by next Christmas Boris would be back as Prime Minister. So what do you think of that? Do you think that's a possibility? Do you think it's likely? Is Rishi safe for 2023?
Well, I feel quite confident in making a prediction about that, which is that's not going to happen. I mean, Boris Johnson is quite popular with party members, although not as popular as he thinks he is, I think. I mean, that's partly because Tory party members tend to value loyalty above everything else. And once Boris Johnson became Prime Minister, and especially once he won them that election, I think he did earn quite a lot of support. But the Tory MPs don't want Boris back, and the British public don't want Boris back. So it's not going to happen.
So just to play devil's advocate, I mean, I think I probably tend to agree with that. But, you know, if the local elections, I mean, we've had our GBNews poll out today, which has the Conservative Party down at 19% in the opinion poll. So I don't think you have to be the world's greatest soothsayer to say that the local elections could be pretty diabolical for the Conservative Party. In that situation, might people want to press the panic button and say, oh, God, we've better get Boris back is our only hope? Is it so inconceivable that could happen?
Yes, it is, because, you know, when it comes down to it, you Tory MPs are, ultimately, you're a rational lot. I mean, you might panic if those local elections are very bad. But the question is whether there would be an alternative leader who could do a better job. And I just don't think that there is an obvious candidate. I think Boris Johnson isn't the answer. I don't think Suella Braverman is the answer. I can't see anybody else who's going to save more Conservative seats at the next general election than Rishi Sunak. And I think Rishi Sunak's the one who actually has a chance of turning things around, because I think if the economy does come good, I think he could do reasonably well in the next general election. I mean, the local elections may be a write-off, but you've got to look further ahead than that.
And also, I'm looking at 2023, something else that we might not have predicted and might not have thought before, but Nicola Sturgeon. Is she safe, or is 2023 going to be a bad year for her?
Well, she's a bit like Keir Starmer. She's treading water. She's got nothing to do in 2023. She's just got to get through the year. She hopes that, you know, whatever happens in the next general election will fall in her favour. And actually, secretly, she hopes that the Conservatives will win, because that's what drives a lot of Scottish nationalism.
But this transgender bill, seems to have caused a lot of upset. And then you see now Keir Starmer wanting to follow down the same path. And then you also read Theresa May is thinking it's the way forward. So I'm feeling unhappiness for Labour on that and the SNP on that.
That is a very good point. I mean, there is no groundswell of support in Scotland for the gender recognition bill. And I think there is a danger for Nicola Sturgeon that she's going to get out of touch with Scottish public opinion. And I think that's the problem for her, is just keeping this grievance politics going of separatism. It becomes harder and harder that, you know, the more years go by, and you fail to deliver the main thing that people voted you in for.